So you think you've found paradise, washed up on a speck of sand off Lombok, Indonesia. The water is impossibly turquoise, the loudest sound is a horse-drawn cart, and for a moment, you feel like the first to discover this place. You're not, of course. But the Gili Islands have a way of making you believe it. These three tiny islands, Gili Trawangan, Gili Meno, and Gili Air, sit just off Lombok, close to Bali, yet feel a world apart. Gili means small island in the local Sasak language, so yes, you're on the small islands. There's a beautiful simplicity here, a lack of pretense that's rare in today's world. But don't be fooled by the laid-back vibe. These islands have a wild story. Volcanoes, pirates, political prisoners, and coconuts all play a part. Once remote fishing outposts, the Gilis became a global backpacker mecca, a paradise found, then complicated. The journey from deserted sandbars to bustling tourist hubs is messy, full of strange characters and the enduring spirit of the locals. So let's pull up a chair, order something strong, and peel back the layers of this sun-drenched postcard. We'll explore the history, the people, and the chaotic reality of life on these three dots in the Flores Sea. This isn't just about pretty beaches and sea swings, it's the story of the Gilis, far more interesting than your tan line. Before tourists, the Gilis were silent, uninhabited bumps of coral and sand. Their story starts with fire and water, ancient coral reefs pushed up by the volcanic might of Mount Rinjani. For centuries, they were just landmarks for sailors, places to avoid. The first real inhabitants? Exiles. During Dutch and Indonesian rule, Gili Trawangan was a penal colony. Political prisoners and criminals were dumped here, left to survive among coconut trees and, legend says, pirates. The islands were wild, untamed, and considered spiritually haunted by the Sasak people. Bugis sailors from Sulawesi would stop to harvest coconuts or shelter from storms, but no one settled. The Gilis existed in the margins, waiting for their next chapter. This legacy of exile and neglect shaped their identity, a place for outcasts and drifters. It's a foundation that paved the way for the backpackers and soul searchers who would later arrive. The ghosts of convicts and pirates set the stage for a new kind of pioneer. The Gilis' story is one of nature's power and human resilience. The real community story begins with the Sasak people from Lombok. In the 1970s, the government encouraged settlement, despite sandy soil, scarce water, and a reputation for being remote and haunted. Families arrived as pioneers, not tourists, carving out a tough life centered on the sea and the coconut tree. Men fished at dawn in wooden outrigger boats. Women grew what they could in the sand. The coconut was king, food, drink, and currency. Early communities built bamboo huts forming small villages, especially on Gili Air, which had the best fresh water. There were no shops, no bars, no Wi-Fi, just survival, cooperation, and tight-knit community. This era is the bedrock of modern Gili culture. Descendants of these settlers now run many of the businesses. Their memory of pre-tourism days anchors the island's identity. It's a history of resilience and resourcefulness, still felt in the quiet back streets. The Gilis were built on forgotten land by people who refused to be forgotten. The 1980s brought a new kind of traveler, the backpacker. Word spread of three perfect islands off Lombok, beaches that shamed Thailand, a vibe of pure escapism. At first, tourists trickled in, then arrived in a steady stream, forever changing the Gilis. Islanders adapted quickly. Spare rooms became guest houses, kitchens served fried rice, and simple homestays popped up. Tourism grew organically, driven by local families, not big developers. This was the golden age rooms for a few dollars, bonfires, rice wine, and stars overhead. Gili Trawangan became the party island. Air and Meno stayed quieter. The economy shifted from fish and coconuts to beds and beers. Western culture clashed with local values, but the transition was mostly peaceful. Travelers were enchanted by the island's raw beauty. Locals were curious about the world washing up on their shores. This was when the Gilis hit the global map. The secret was out, and there was no turning back. Paradise was now a destination. Step onto any Gili island and you'll notice what's missing. No cars, no engines, no traffic. The main transport? Horse-drawn carts, bicycles, or your own 2 feet. Motorized vehicles are strictly forbidden, a rule that preserves the island's unique atmosphere. Life slows to the pace of a horse's trot. Another quirk: no dogs. You'll see cats everywhere, but never a dog. Officially, it's about protecting wildlife and public health. Unofficially, it's tradition. Each Gili has a village head who handles local disputes. Justice was once a local affair. troublemakers paraded and exiled. These rules create a distinct social fabric, a bubble with its own rhythm. It's not always perfect, but it keeps the Gilis feeling like the Gilis. Here, you're not just visiting a beach, you're stepping into a different way of life. Saying you're going to the Gilis is like saying you're going to New York. Each island is different. Gili Trawangan, or Gili T, is the wild older brother, the biggest, loudest, and most developed. Beach parties till dawn, mushroom shakes, and a social scene that never sleeps. Gili Meno is the quiet middle child, the honeymoon island, perfect for disappearing. Main activities: hammocks, snorkeling with underwater statues and turtle sanctuaries. Nightlife, a quiet dinner and maybe one beer. Gili Air is the youngest, the most balanced, bohemian, relaxed, with cafes, yoga, and beach bars. It's social but peaceful, popular with families, couples, and solo travelers. The island's distinct personalities make island hopping rewarding. Party on Gili T, recover on Meno, find balance on air, all within a few kilometers. And the iconic sea swings? They're the perfect metaphor, simple, beautiful, and irresistible. The Gilis are three siblings, each with their own charm. Choose wisely and you'll find your perfect paradise. Today, the Gilis are a world-famous destination, but that fame brings new challenges. Their small size and fragile ecosystems are under threat from their own popularity. The central question: how do you keep paradise from being lost? Waste management is a huge issue. Thousands of visitors, tons of trash. Local initiatives like the Gili Eco Trust are leading the way with beach cleanups, recycling, and coral reef restoration. Biorock technology is helping regenerate damaged reefs. Fresh water is precious, often shipped in or desalinated at high cost. More businesses are investing in solar power and rainwater harvesting. The conversation is shifting from profit to sustainability. The biggest challenge? Preserving the Gili vibe as development booms. The local community remains the island's soul and guardian. As long as the jingle and the call to prayer echoes, the Gilis have a fighting chance. Paradise is a work in progress and the story isn't over yet.